They let us in
Howdy.
again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's terrifying. Howdy. Welcome to this week's episode of Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. I'm your host, Viko the Bearded One. You can call me JT for short. Tonight, I'm joined as always by his bouginess, Alex the Jarl Martinez, and
Ma'am.
I don't know the sultry sounds of Ryan Doc Sims.
Hello.
Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
Better
Welcome
now.
to welcome to
Fuck
Doc
yeah,
Sim
man.
Radio. Thank you for joining us at this late hour. I'm hoping that
Ooh,
you're not going to
Ooh,
go to sleep. I hope I can keep you up.
sploosh. Just
I'm
heard
so
sploosh.
tingly everywhere.
So much just happened. Every male veteran just said, "Doc, give me the silver bullet," but they're
Oh,
actually just
everybody,
talking to they're just talking about your
Oh my
beard and their
gosh.
ass.
I gotta go
every
clean up now.
who doesn't want that silver bullet?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to
Well,
need more whiskey for this conversation.
speaking of whiskey, what are you drinking tonight, guys?
I have the classical Montana Whiskey Company bourbon.
Hmm, that
Damn
is
tasty.
my
Super
favorite
tasty.
bourbon right now.
The
But
bobbin.
I also have a backup, of course, if we end up going down a rabbit hole again. I
Oh
got
yeah.
the rabbit hole.
I love it. What are you drinking, Alice?
Oh, I got the Bombay Sapphire again. Just keeping it
Ooh,
light and fresh.
I thought you said
Bam.
velvet sapphire. I was like, ooh,
I mean, it's
velvet.
velvety going down. It's
I
velvety going
fucking
down.
I fucking love it. I ran out of whiskey and tequila, so now I'm on vodka.
Oh, that sucks.
So I have
Is it at least Russian? Russian vodka?
it's Tito's, so probably not. I
Oh,
don't know if
It's
there's
American.
I
It's American.
it's something, and I'm not mad about it right now because this is mixed with I did an apple cider in it, and it's actually it's hitting a spot. Then of course
like
I've got the cold schnacks for
Mm,
afterwards,
just on standby.
just because I know that I'm almost done with this drink.
Makes
But
sense. If
it's
you
been
didn't
a
spend an hour
piss
bitching,
piss
you'd
poor
still have drink
planning
left.
leads to Montuckies, right? I guess.
no man, I love Montuckies. I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy talk. No piss.
Montuckies are pretty good.
I also have one red ale as well, which is the Devil's Hump red
You're
ale.
doing red ale again, huh?
I love red ales, man. That's my jam.
Ginger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something, man. Definitely something. So Doc, it's been a couple weeks. What's new in your world? You out there freaking x-raying people's stomachs for things that they accidentally fell into?
I was gonna say, did
No,
you have
no,
anybody
no.
jump into your DMs from that sultry sound
Oh
of
yeah,
Doc
I
Sim?
think yeah, everybody from like anywhere from Georgia to South Korea, all sorts of new girls that want to say hi. I think even two of them were Natasha approved.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Look out.
yeah,
Better watch out.
she likes the redhead, that's for sure.
She's a
Awesome.
sucker for a redhead.
She's a sucker for a redhead. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
But no, nothing new, and especially nothing in anyone's orifices that I can recall. But there was a
Oh,
lot of drinking over the last couple weeks, so
what a letdown.
Yeah, now I was looking forward to it.
Ah,
S- Speaking about orifices and getting totally fucked in them, have you guys heard about the new veteran bill that they're trying to push through from it's the Congress was it the Congress?
it's the
the
Congressional Budget Committee.
Oh yeah, the CBC.
CBO
CBO?
Yeah,
Congressional Budget
budget
Office?
office.
it is the
Yeah.
CBO.
And then
So
how many? Everybody's got a committee. If you don't have a committee, you're just not doing it right.
Yeah,
fuck,
we need to
we're
come
not
up with a committee.
yeah,
Yeah. With
maybe.
the Rantastic committee.
Yeah, we should
Rantastic. Yeah.
Rantastic committee. I fucking so so Al, you sent this over to us yet earlier today. And so I'm just gonna do a light touch on I think you have a lot more information. But before we get down that path, I want everybody to know, like, look, and we're veteran advocates. We're veterans as well, and all these things, right? But there comes a time when we need everybody, regardless of the side of the aisle, and we don't ever get political here, to actually unite. There are people out there right now that are going to be extremely harmed from this. So here's the overall thing, right? So the Congress, in their wonderful ideas and their bean counters have stated that they can save money not by not sending money overseas, but by cutting veteran benefits if you make over a certain amount. So if you were blown up in Afghanistan and you were able to come home and make something of yourself, and you make over a certain threshold in your home, they'll take away all of your benefits, which is fucking stupid. Al?
So it's absolutely ridiculous, right? Because they want to say anybody that makes, and it's a combined household income, right? So that's anything that anybody over the age of 18 makes in your household goes towards that $170,000. So if you make over $170,000, then it doesn't matter. You're giving up your benefits, or you're going to get it taken away. I think it's $2 per dollar is the way I think it reads. And so that's for every dollar that you make over that $170,000 or over that $125,000, sorry, it takes away $2. So
I want
that
my
doesn't,
$2.
yeah. So and really what it will end up doing is cutting something like 200 million over a year out of the budget. 200 million, and we're sending 40 billion to countries for no reason, right? Um, and it pisses me off, right? There's veterans out there that lost
And
legs and arms
yep,
and
yep.
all that, and if they go out there and take for instance, a Medal of Honor winner, some of these guys like you got Dakota Meyer, you have a couple of them out there. They're going around, they're doing live speaking engagements. They get paid to come speak, tell their story, tell how they overcame everything. And say they're out there making 200K a year doing that, doing the
Yeah.
speaking and
Doing
everything.
speaking engagements. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yep.
still every day can be a struggle.
Yeah.
Even though you're out there and you're face forward, every day can be a struggle, dude. The pain, you know, that's basically, money doesn't fix it. The
No.
pain that some guys go through, the money doesn't fix it. It makes it, a little bit better because you have extra money to take care of yourself, take care of your family, for
I
those that
think
aren't making
I
that
think
crazy
more
amount of money.
with that sentiment in mind, I think it's more about the fact that my government realizes my sacrifice and they're willing to compensate me. Like I can never get my hand back, I can never get my foot back, I can't get my vision back, or I can't get my jaw back from having a bullet hit me in the face or whatnot. But at least my government is acknowledging that I it caused some damage my service. So
Yeah.
I think it's about the acknowledgement. And with taking away and decreasing those benefits, I think that trivializes what the benefit actually is.
Yeah,
I think
well, and with that being said too, you you're you're going to isolate a whole lot more veterans, right?
Hmm.
And
That are already angry.
yeah, that are
yeah.
already angry. You're going to piss off, and the math kind of works out to about 20%, right? So it'll take about a million and a half, maybe more, maybe less veterans. It'll take their benefit away entirely.
I
Yep.
think I think more so the aspect of it for me that's frustrating is that a lot of veterans have to it's it was a dogged fight for them to be able to come up with the justifications and the rationales and the documentation to support the claims, right? That the
Yep.
VA finally says, okay, fine, we'll give you this amount because da 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 da, or they deny claims often, right? And then they have to appeal those denials and get justifications and approvals, and then finally you go through all of the rigmarole to do all of that, and then now it's getting decreased.
Well, and just
The
think how long some veterans sat there waiting to
Sure.
get their
uh,
benefit,
yeah,
right?
I can tell you exactly about that. So, I'm a disabled vet from Afghanistan and a little bit from doing a McCree ruck march where he smashed the shit out of my fucking vertebrae, right? It took them 3 years to say, "Hey, you have a disability. And that was a straight dogfight. And the thing that pisses me off about this, right, is these people that are supposed to be representing us in America are literally sitting there sending money overseas. They made millions off the backs of heroes.
Oh yeah.
Millions and millions and millions off the deaths of my friends, your friends, everybody's friends. So it's like fuck you guys,
It's
right?
like
Like
their base salary is like $225,000 going into office, and half of them leave fucking
millionaires.
multi
Yeah.
millionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like get the fuck
They're
out of
not.
here. Even
That's the kicker. Is they're not. They're not doing it for the 225,000. They're doing it for the pack. They're doing it for the packs that get padded.
Hmm?
When you're making yourself a career politician. Um, and granted, I haven't read all through this whole thing. I don't know that it's backed by politicians. I think this
it's
is maybe
not.
just
Yeah,
it's a bean. This is a bean counter. This is some dweeb that's sitting on a stool someplace counting beans that says, "Hey, we might be able to save some beans if we do this." And hopefully somebody shoved a bean up his ass and said, "Don't fucking never talk about this again ever."
You mean like a
well,
pineapple? Is a pineapple considered a
oh
fucking
yeah,
bean?
fuck
Like
yeah. For
Wait, wait.
these fucking guys, the part of the thing that pisses me off too, right? Is they're like, well, from 2001 till now, there's been a huge uptick in veteran benefits and
yeah,
claimants, and it's
how
like
fucking far down in that book were you? What fucking happened in 2001? No
exactly.
shit.
It's like it's you
Oh
literally have
god.
more veterans now than ever in history,
They are
and more
disabled.
veterans that are alive because combat medicine took just leaps and bounds
Yeah.
forward in that time from when we started in 2001 till when we pulled out of Afghanistan. And I don't condone pulling out of anything.
Yeah. What's the fun in that?
The combat medicine is fucking huge.
Yeah. Yep.
And now they're worried about, right now it's going to increase the budget by 2030 to it looks like $6.6 billion for the veterans that are going to be getting out that could be claiming disability. And at this point, dude, if we're gonna send $40 billion overseas, I don't give a shit. Fucking pay the veterans.
Yeah. Absolutely. They
Yeah.
signed on for service, and part of the rationale in signing on for service and sticking it out for 20 years and retiring, right, is that uh, there's some there's benefits to that. There's benefits to dealing with the green weenie for 20 years, and one of those benefits is that provided if I'm injured during my service, then I can count on uh, getting benefits and I just think
Well,
that
Well,
if we're decreasing that, down the line, what does that say for A, for retention in the services, right? And B, recruitment.
and there's an article out now saying that the secretary of the VA swatted it down, but all it takes is for one asshole in Congress to try and take it and run with it. And I've
Well,
always
yeah,
been under
especially when
the
you have a yeah. Sorry to
uh,
talk over you. Especially when you have some leadership that is looking at any possible way to cut spending that deals with uh, you know uh,
I,
a conservative kind of mindset of service.
and I've
yeah.
always been under the thought process, right? If we're gonna go spend $2 billion on war, then we need to be ready to spend $2 to $4 billion on those coming back from war.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
because war
going
is
to be
fucking
twice.
brutal.
Yeah, it's going to be just
100%.
as much or more to take care of everybody when they come back for it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like when you buy a razor. It's like, God, you spend $35,000 on a fucking razor. You better be fucking prepared to spend $35,000 on fucking aftermarket parts and bullshit to make the fucking thing safe and run.
and
Right?
also Razor number 2 and 3 as well after they melt.
Ooh.
No, I 100% agree. Like, uh, this isn't the first time you've ever had a war. This isn't the first time you've ever had to provide benefits for veterans. You know there's a cost to it, so adjust accordingly and make it fucking right. Yeah.
You know what's really sad? Here's what the sad part is to me, right? So after World War One, the veterans that came home, they were unemployed. There was a huge march that actually happened on the White House, and they were trying to march in and get what they called their bonuses. They wanted to collect their bonuses, their bonus money. It's called the bonus march, right? It was nothing but World War One veterans during the Depression, and they were trying to get their money. Congress denied them. The president, fucking Hoover, piece of shit, right? Also inventor, the guy who made the FBI what it is, right? Uh, told General MacArthur and Patton to march on the veterans of World War One. They did. MacArthur put on a dress uniform and rode horses and pulled his saber out and was seen sticking World War One veterans. Are you fucking kidding me?
Where is
It's
that?
Yeah,
it's
I
in
never
Washington
heard
D.C.
that.
I'll send you the links. It's like there's video of it. They
Yeah, that's
burnt
wild.
down. They burnt down. Like it's the old. Like they were sitting there recording it was right with the old stuff, and like it's like buried in American history. People don't talk about it. It actually
Yes,
came.
it's hard to fathom that you can have a government that would do that, and I mean, but to that extent, right? And in a physical aspect, you have that back on in that day, and now you have something in a similar aspect in a financial downtrodden where if you do this right, if let's say this actually came to fruition, I can't imagine it would.
There'd be
There's
a
just gonna
lot
there's
of.
just gonna be too there's gonna be as soon as this becomes more public, which hopefully something like this
Well,
conversation brings it
5 years
you
ago,
know
we didn't think diesel would be over $4 either, but here we are.
Here we are. But I think that's kind of the same aspect in especially with an economy like we're in right now where you you take people's financial means away from them regardless of what their income is, right? You're taking a financial means away that someone's depending upon, that's like stabbing them.
Well, so
Well,
I misspoke earlier. It is the goal was not, it wasn't 6 billion. It was, the goal was to save 253 billion over the next 10 years by eliminating those that make over $170,000.
Well,
And
yeah,
was it
our
it's 170 or just 70?
$170.
$170,000. So
What
any
is it?
veteran that makes over $170,000 gets their benefits drastically reduced or taken away, so the government can save 253 billion over the next 10 years.
So you're talking about 25 billion a year, but we keep sending billions and billions overseas to Pakistan for gender studies, and we fucking keep funding other people's wars, and we donate to NATO, who's never done a goddamn thing for us. We bail NATO out all the fucking time, and the United Nations, and fucking the Muslim Brotherhood over in fucking Saudi Arabia. We gave them fucking $50 billion or whatever the fuck it was, and said sorry that we did that. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck
exactly.
you. 100%
It's like
fuck
we're
you.
we're paying somebody out in the desert to see how high giraffe pussy is
Yeah,
and giving them billions of dollars, and it's like,
yeah.
dude, it's really high. It's up there.
Yeah, like
Yeah, there are things in the world that are worth investing in, and I don't disagree with some of the funding that we send around the globe to invest in quote unquote securities and stabilization. But there are a lot of grants and funding of programs that are definitely gratuitous in nature and don't those funds could be eliminated and trimmed much more easily and simply than defunding veteran benefits,
Well, I know they
regardless of
could,
income.
they
That
yeah.
could go ahead and take $40 million from Fauci, because
yeah,
he made $40 million roughly off of COVID. So
or
that,
tax the
yeah,
living shit out of the politicians that are on the Securities and Exchange Commission, or
yeah.
those that are in the in some secret Senate committee whose husband gets out of jail and ends up investing in tech firms and blue chip stocks that end up becoming in the next congressional bill and make millions and millions of
Oh
dollars
yeah.
and
Yeah, fuck them.
tax
That's
the
my.
fuck
Well,
out of that.
I'm literally the guy who will always tell you fuck them all. Like they're
oh
all
dude,
fucking they're bad.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's like at this point, if you don't want to change it to where they can't trade or do anything, then you need to at least tax them by 50% on every fucking trade they do.
Or, well, that plus also, by the way, I want you to fucking show up with your racing badges, who's sponsoring you, and your
No
NASCAR
shit.
jacket, so I can
Yeah.
see what the fuck who's backing you, right?
Mm.
Anyway, so
But
let's not go down. We were digressing
but we
down a
digress.
path. We digress. We're headed down a rabbit hole that we don't need to go.
That
Thanks,
is
Alice.
Look
rantastic.
at JT. He dipped
Fuck.
his toe in. Now he's fucking running away.
Oh yeah, no. I'll rant all day long on it because it pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off because of me. For me, it pisses me off for the heart. Like when you are figuratively cutting out the legs out from somebody who doesn't have any fucking legs because they're doing speaking engagements
Right.
and they're making 180 $200,000 a year about how they overcome things. Fuck you. Like
Yeah.
burn in hell.
It's
Like
horseshit.
literally burn in hell.
Yeah.
You know, the irony of this for me is that we want people to succeed, right? We want you to overcome and adapt and be successful. But then now you're saying to someone, if you're successful enough, we're going to take some of that away from you. This for me is another iteration of government stepping into the middle class because I don't care where you're from. You know, $170,000 combined household income is not middle class. That's less than middle class, honestly. But the reality is you're you're keeping the middle class back down,
Yeah.
right? So you've decided that, you know, if you're income based under over a certain level, you don't get taxed at all. You can find all the loopholes you want as long as you can afford the team to be able to find you the loopholes, and you don't have to worry about your fair share of taxes. You just find all the loopholes. But those that make, 200K a year or less, now you're getting taxed, and now we're taxing a benefit that we've assured you that you're going to be able to have, and thank you for your service, except for when you make too much.
Well, and the inflation is so crazy, right? Because, you know, making $100,000 a year used to be like, fucking,
Yeah,
Awesome.
I have
yeah,
fucking made it.
right,
Like I'm at the top.
right.
I think it was like in the early 2000s or mid, tens. It was like, dude, if you've hit 100K, it looks like JT got himself a personal bartender.
Mm,
Ooh, like it.
Um,
somebody snuck me a drink because this conversation got heavy.
She's upstairs listening. She's like, "Oh Jesus,
oh
he needs a
shit.
drink."
Somebody come
I heard
save
it
me.
through the air vents. You need
The
this.
the floorboards are fucking shaking from the voices
Oh
going
yeah,
higher and higher.
she was obviously like, oh fuck, he's already pissed off because of his fucking insurance debacle bullshit today. Fine. Anyway, yeah, no, I digress. Back to you guys. Sorry,
Don't
I'm
even get me started. Don't even get me started on Ponzi schemes. Oh my
oh
God. God.
the hold on, the whole federal government is just a Ponzi scheme. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's a multi-level marketing fucking firm.
Right.
I'm waiting for the VA to show up and be like, hey, by the way, have you guys tried lavender oil for your legs that are missing? Because it will help it grow back.
It'll grow back.
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah, I know. You know,
If you put your stumps in the dirt where the mushrooms grow, it's helpful.
Then we're gonna get like the mushroom zombies and shit again, like that show The Last of Us.
oh
We're gonna be
fuck.
all fucked. But yeah, I mean, $100,000 used to be a lot of fucking money, especially like in Utah, the economy that put you in like the top, 3% of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's like, fuck, you need $100,000 just to be able to buy a fucking house out here.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
cost of living in this state is insane.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It's
California.
yeah.
Well, we were talking about all these things, and I think this is something that's one of those moments that might be a trigger, but for a lot of people with that are struggling mentally, right? But tonight's conversation for our men's mental health is actually something specific. Now, two of the three of us know a lot about this. The other guy has seen a lot of it, and I'll get into that in a minute here. But before we get into men's mental health, of course, we're not professionals. We don't pretend to be professionals. We're just three fucking idiots talking to a camera.
Not even a
right?
good camera. It's,
Not
Okay.
no,
it's
like this fucking
mediocre at
terrible
best.
on a good
Great segue, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Way to,
Uh
way to
Doug
step that.
jumped us
Way
right out
to
of that
yeah,
one.
like I think you stepped on. It
Sidestep.
was like stepping on a Betty, and then you hang on for a minute, and then you're able to get off
we're
of
there.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were there. I mean, we were down that rabbit hole, but
Fucking elevator up.
fucking here we are. So here's a big thing, and this is actually something I think a lot of veterans struggle with because you get married young, get a tattoo, you buy a fucking car that you can't afford, all in the same strip mall, right?
Speaking of
And
tattoos.
and then you get deployed overseas. I love you, by the way. Fucking
Fuck.
inside joke.
Fuck.
Anyway, but you get deployed overseas. Your ex, your wife becomes your ex, and you come home and you were a single dad.
You
That's the
sound like you're speaking from experience.
I'm actually not speaking from experience for that one. I actually got divorced on recruiting duty, which was basically the shittiest duty you could ever have. But
So she dumped you when you turned into a used car salesman. That's what I just heard.
well, she dumped me, and then she started dating, and then eventually married a very, very worse used car salesman that was in the same recruiting office as me, and he looked like a Mexican version of Pink Panther.
Oh,
Oh, hey, I remember that guy.
Yeah, fuck
he's a
that guy.
political
Yeah.
lobbyist then,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
the
working
the
for the
the
CBO.
problem is when you're, working like a used car salesman and you're not bringing home used car salesman money. That's the fucking problem.
yeah, when you're bringing home E5 pay with some special duty pay of 450 a month, woo, dude, I could totally afford that fucking
Fuck
extra
yeah.
vehicle I didn't actually need. And so here's the thing that ends up happening, right? So, and I think this happens a lot actually in the civilian world. I don't know because I'm never going to be a civilian. I don't know what it's like to be a civilian, like a real, like I'm a veteran status now, so like I guess I'm a civilian now, just like you guys are, but we have our military ties and all that stuff. But here's the thing that's weird about it. So being a single dad and being a man and dealing with the world right now, and it has been this way forever, is another thing where the cards are fucking stacked against you. You go to court, and 95% of the time, if you have a dick, you lose all custody of your kids except for visitation, which it used to be, and I don't know if it's changed. I think it's changed in some states, but typically it's every other weekend and one night a week. And your one night a week is 3 hours. And if you have a child under the age of 2, then you get them for hours a week. You don't get to bond with your kid.
That's fucking whack.
Yeah, it's completely fucking stacked against you. It takes an act of God or a psychotic ex who just bounces and moves to India and leaves the kids behind for you to actually win custody of your kids. And many men struggle with this because men want to be part of the kids' lives. We want to be a dad. We want to be there every single day.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
a huge thing too. Like I can't, speak from that experience, but I see it more and more where the the man wants to be part of their kids' lives and they're not given that option. It's just immediately taken away.
Yeah. And,
And I think that's why we are where we are in society is
mhm.
you've taken all these kids away from their dads and then labeled their dads as a deadbeat dad, or
Yeah.
the mom talks badly about the
Right.
dad so the kid thinks the dad's a
Yeah.
deadbeat dad when all he really wanted was to be in the kid's life, but she took him away. And
Right.
now she can't, and now he can't see his kids or be influential on his kids. And now here we are, a bunch of fucking mental health crisis diseases and kids. And I don't know, that
No,
Yeah.
but
that shit pisses me off, and I'm
Yeah.
not even fucking
The
part of that crew.
right. The irony of that, right, is that you know, the conservative values of America dictate that there should be a father in the household, and we want to argue that there's a lot of problems in society that are because there is an absentee father and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, um, you go through a divorce. And not my personal instance, obviously was different, like JT was mentioning, but I've definitely had a lot of friends who've had an experience such that that they've had to literally fight to the tune of, you know, 50, $60,000 in attorney's fees and whatnot to be able to get custody, not even custody, but like joint custody or visitation of their children. And
Or
the system is stacked against, you know, historically the woman is the one that provides the better care for children. And so men kind of get, historically in the legal system anyway, kind of a bad rap in that regard. And but so this so society on one hand is saying, yeah, there needs to be a father in the household, and then all of a sudden now they're saying, no, wait, you don't get joint, you don't get visitation, or you don't get custody.
Have
yeah.
you seen that statistic that just came out not too long ago? Where it was the percentage of kids that go to jail that either have, um, mom and dad in the same household or just live with dad is drastically lower than kids that just grow up with a mom.
Oh yeah,
I've seen
it's
that
like
prior, yeah.
it's like what is it, like 65 or 70%
Yeah, it
of
was a huge margin.
some fucking crazy number. So here's the thing from my perspective when we talk about these things, right? So I fought for 7 years. Every day I would call my kids at 7 p.m. My kids would hop on the phone and they would do what they were directed to do by their mother. And, you know, they would say within 5 to 10 seconds, all three of them would hop on the phone and say, "I don't want to talk to you right now." Like it was trained, it was auto tuned into them. So I took her to court, right? They were required to give me an hour of time a day. Like that's in the divorce decree. It's a standard basic practice. An hour a day, 7 hours a week of electronic time, parental time, unsupervised parental time, right? Well, how do you get that? Because like
Yeah.
nobody's going to enforce it. So then you bring it up to the courts. Hey, I'm not getting this. Well, the kids don't want to talk to you. The kids are fucking 8, 7, and fucking 3.
Yeah. Yeah. They've
You
been,
know, and I know I'm not the only one that deals with this. Or you also have the other thing, and I'm not trying to like point this out to shame single mothers. I'm just telling everybody what it's like to be a single dad. So let's
Right,
make
and
sure we there's
there's a lot of good single moms out there.
yeah,
And yeah,
absolutely.
this is definitely not to shame single moms because there's a lot of there's a lot of moms that didn't have a choice, right? They didn't
Yeah.
have that male that wanted to be in their kids' life. This is talking about or focusing on, those females that want to take their kids away from their dads that are trying to be part of their life. It's not a knock against those moms that did it themselves
no,
because they
right.
had to.
Right. Nor is this a conversation with regards to the fact that, you know, there are shithole dads out there
Oh
that
yeah,
Oh
for
yeah.
sure they're at.
that are abusive, that are toxic, and that with in the current situation that may have caused the separation, the divorce in the first place, may not warrant, you know, visitation and custody aspects. That's not the situation that we're talking of either.
No.
No.
But those are fringe cases in my mind. You
I don't
have
know. I think it probably happens more than
Yeah,
we'd like to
it
think
I
or
think
admit.
so. Yep.
But at the same time, there's cases like what you're talking about, dads that wanted to be in their kids' lives and the kids got ripped away for no reason.
there's so
Right.
many times, and I could tell you story after story, and I'm not gonna sit here and bash my ass because that's not who I am. There's so many fucking times when I would pick up my kids, and I'm hit with crippling child support, and I'm living in my fucking friend's basement like closet, right? Like trying to fucking survive, and I'm lucky to be in a situation to be there, and I have no outlet to go out and see anything or do anything because all I can do is just pay child support and pay my rent and pay my insurance for my car, right?
Right.
And you're sitting there and you're battling and you're battling and battling, and then you go to the courts and the courts just shit on you, like you were a piece of shit, you got divorced, you this, you that, and they just fucking stick their finger at you, right? It's so heartbreaking and it's such a mental thing, and there are so many single dads who just literally do the ultimate thing of clearing their mind permanently because of that because of the system being fucked, because of those things. And this is like a direct correlation with that the veteran benefit thing, right? Like,
Hmm.
look, if I'm willing to show up and I'm willing to be in my kids' lives, you got to let me be in their lives. And there's got to be a repercussion for mothers that fucking just take your kids, but they're not, because it's civil. And as far as I fucking look at it, if the court orders you to do something and you don't do it, guess what? It's no longer civil,
Right.
right? That
Yeah.
you're breaking the
Right.
rule of the land. So
Right.
Well, and that's the thing is you would go to jail if you didn't pay child support.
yeah,
Right.
So why does somebody else not go to jail or have legal
Right.
ramifications if they
Right.
don't follow?
there
What's the point of a binding decree if there's not any enforcement of said binding decree?
yeah, it's really terrible. So what ends up happening, right? So then all of a sudden now you finally get your kids, and you have the kids for the summer. You get them for 4 weeks, and they start acting like assholes, and you can't really do anything, because if you do something, you've got to be the carnival dad. You got to leave
Right.
lasting good memories and impressions in their head, right? You've
Yeah.
got to make you got to
So they want to
remind
come
them.
back the
So
next
they
year.
yeah, so they want to come back, and that they literally think about it. So now you're fucking doing this thing where you are stepping out from the realm of being a man and teaching your children what a man is supposed to be, whether it's me with my daughters and saying, this is the line you hold people to, right? Or like Ryan with his sons, this is the line that I hold you to and you should hold yourself to, right? So if you get to that point, it's unfortunate, because now you're just a fucking carnival dad, and you guys have both seen it with me and my kids. Like,
Yeah.
granted, my kids are really well behaved, but at the same
Right.
time, it's like, if I fucking even use the dad voice, next thing you
Yeah.
know, it's fucking Niagara Falls, and it's
Yeah.
like
It's like
I got
Freya running to her dog hole.
yeah, yeah, for real. Like,
when whenever whenever I drop an F bomb or I get frustrated with something at, when I'm working during the day, all of a sudden I hear this little thump, and it's Aurora jumping into her kennel because she's like, "Oh God, Dad's voice went up."
Oh
Like, "Oh
no.
oh,
yeah,
Dad can't log into his computer again. It's been
oh
the
my
same
God,
code his whole career.
you shut your fucking pie hole."
he's
Oh
got to.
god, Dad's internet. It's not working again.
Oh
Right.
god, damn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he
Oh my
can't
God,
drive his.
oh
He.
shit, he opened up that silver one that says Mac and crap on it. He's gonna fucking flip out
Oh
any
Oh
no.
moment.
Jesus, he bought another Razor. He can't drive still.
At no
Uh,
Malaysian kid. There was no Malaysian kid that came with it. What the fuck over?
so
You know,
it's
I was really fortunate with my situation in the sense that, I'll never forget um uh Matt and I were hanging out during the issues, and he says to me, "This is going to sound really shitty, but you don't know how lucky you are." He's like, you're going to look back on this one day and you're going to just say, "You know what? I was truly lucky." And for those that don't, so my situation was that my ex-wife, my wife and mother of my children, that birthed them, they call Natasha mom now, and she argues vehemently that she's their mom, but she decided she didn't want to be a wife and a mom anymore, and circumstances basically said, "I'm going to take off and go find my soulmate," or found my soulmate, and I'm headed off to India. So I,
Do you see the
the,
So,
foreshadowing there I did
oh,
there?
dun dun dun. See,
dun,
I'm
dun,
learning this story for the
dun.
very first time. So this is the
Oh, we have,
foreshadowing is strong.
oh, the foreshadowing is strong in this one. Come,
Hmm.
come to the dark side. But
Like because he's Indian?
no, no, just come to the dark side of the dads, and
Oh, right.
anyway, forget about it.
He's a Star Trek guy, bro. What do you want?
Yeah, this is Star Trek.
I. think it's all plausible.
Yeah,
We're
no,
not.
we know
We're
that
not.
for
We
sure.
fucking know.
Like in a galaxy far away.
Like in a galaxy far, far away, there's going to be lightsabers and medical wands that tell you every fucking little medical problem that someone has.
Your
Can't wait for
dick
that
does
day.
not classify as a medical wand.
It does. It does.
It's medical wand.
Wan,
Wand.
half
Wand.
Korean wan.
Yeah.
But no, and so in my situation where, she basically decided to just abandon motherly duties and wife duties and head off to another country, and the boys at the time were like 9 and 13, and so super hard on them. Not that it wasn't necessarily super hard on me, but uh, you're left with trying to repair the damage of, well, why doesn't mom want to be my mom anymore? Where did mom go? And you have all of this emotional turmoil with them, and on top of that, now you're assuming all of the duties of the household, and there it was split, right? So yeah, the single dad thing can definitely be difficult for sure.
That is fucking wild. That is like an entire an entirely outlining or outlying fucking situation right there. I don't
Yeah.
know very many moms that just pack up their fucking balls and leave. That's
I
fucking
don't want to
nuts.
play. I don't want to play. Oh, so there's even some more irony to it. The soulmate, actual, his name was also Ryan. So she just
Huh.
got it wrong in 1990. That's
It
all.
was the
Oh
wrong
Jesus
Ryan.
Christ.
It was the
It was
wrong
the wrong.
Ryan.
It was the wrong Ryan from the get-go. Oh my
I
God, who
needed
would have?
a RYAN, not
Right?
Yeah.
RYON.
I should have
It,
known something was wrong when he
n-
fucked his name up.
it was actually probably spelled Rien just because it's fucked.
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
It
Well,
didn't have the traditional Korean spelling of Ryan.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Dude, so it's funny because like we sit here and we talk about these crazy circumstances, but here's another circumstance, right? My dad um battled for custody of me and my little brother hard. And finally my egg dumpster, not my mom adopted me. My dad's my dad, right?
Right.
And my egg dumpster fucking literally said, "Okay, you can have them," because she was too busy just chasing drug dealers. Like literally chasing drug dealers
Yeah.
and just sleeping with them. And she just gave it up and then she fucking moved away. She just fucking bounced. And I was like, well, that solves a lot because going over
Yeah,
to her house
so
sucks.
it's actually not as it's
I was
not
gonna say
common
that.
for certain, but it's not unheard of. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean that worked out for you for sure.
Definitely.
yeah,
Ab- Absolutely. It's weird though because it sucks because there's so many men out there that need to adhere to the things that we've been talking about, that the self-perseverance, knowing your violence, resilience, all the things we've talked about, right? Overcoming things. But it's really, really hard when you have kids in the situation because you have to fucking literally put on the most bulletproof facade when your children are around.
Hmm.
Like you have to create almost an alter ego. You've got to put on a Batman suit and you've got to talk in a fucking "Hi, I'm Batman" voice, right? And you've got to fucking do that bullshit day in and day out whenever you have your children. If you're in a situation like that, and it's taxing, and I applaud anybody who makes it through it because at the end of the day, you didn't get to be a dad because the fucking system is stacked against you, just like those fucks in Washington.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Well, and there's some full-time dads out there too
Hmm.
that are knocking it out of the park every day. The boat's full-time dad. You know, he's
yeah, yep,
he doesn't have the luxury of, having or being able to just drop his kids off, and just go do whatever he wants. Or that break for the one weekend a month or every 2 weeks or whatever. Like he is full-time dad all the time.
Yeah.
And
And for on that note, just you thick ladies, just know that he will make time for you.
he will make time for you. Yeah,
He will find time to find that peanut butter and jelly sandwich you've got hidden.
oh yeah,
yeah,
he will
oh
find
yeah,
it. He will locate and destroy.
yeah.
All of
But
it.
That was one of the biggest. So one of my ex-wife's uh arguments in her defense was that she tried to minimize the aspects of it in the sense that they're like, you're such a great dad, they're going to be just fine, they'll always be fine because you're such a wonderful dad. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a wonderful dad, and always have been, and I will continue to be. But that doesn't negate the emotional crisis that they're going through with wondering, where the fuck is mom. But
yeah,
yeah, so I used to hate that argument from her. But yeah, there's a lot of dads that knock it out of the park all of the time. And fortunately, I had a good swing and I was able to hit home runs often. So
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, as long
No.
as you're successful 3 out of 10 times, baby,
Yeah.
you're
Hall
all
of
time.
Famer.
You're Hall of
Hall of
Fame, baby.
Famer for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't want to beat a dead horse because, that's how ghosts appear. So, I mean, really, Ryan, what are we talking about tonight for ghosts?
Well, I think
Uh,
before we switch it over, I think the the mental health piece too is just you have to be tough. You can't take that easy route out. Like you can't you clearing your mind or something like that or doing something drastic is not going to help the kids. It's just going to put more pressure on,
Yeah,
kids. Like
absolutely.
it's people do it every single day, right?
Hmm.
Um, and then there's people that just decide they're gonna fucking keep pushing forward, right? And
Yeah.
eventually you're gonna come out on top. You're gonna end up being that guy that might hit the 1 out of 10 in the baseball reference, and pretty
yeah,
soon you're gonna be batting, three,
yeah.
400, 500, and you're gonna be on top of your game. So just keep pushing forward and working on it, and don't give up, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't.
keep on swinging. Be that guy that hits that the one ball that you do hit happens to be a home run in the World Series, right?
In the immortal
Exactly.
words of Joe Dirt, life's a garden, dig it. You got to just keep on keeping on, guys.
Dig it.
Fucking dig it.
Fucking awesome. I will echo that as well. And I think that's the message overall that we try to get out there for everybody who's listening, right? And it doesn't matter if you're a single dad or you're a partner and you're in a great relationship and you're doing well. Just remember, like, you've got to own being a man, and it sucks a lot of the time. You got to wake up and you got to go out and you got to battle. And just know, like, even though it sucks, enjoy that journey, enjoy that process, that growth, because you're going to look back one day. You're going to wake up one day and you're going to look back and you're going to be like, man, I missed all of that because I didn't just enjoy the moment. The struggles suck. We all have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But be able to look back on and be like, you know what, those fucking 2 or 3 years, I fucking murdered those years. I made
Yeah.
those years my bitch, you know?
Yeah. You've in the words of your homie you sent me, the video you sent me, you've survived 100% of the bad of your worst days,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
right? So
I,
keep doing
yeah,
it.
and I think for me too is, part of being successful is who you surround yourself with, right? When I was going through my divorce in that situation, I had a core group of friends that, were really supportive and helped me through tough times. And even the boys, my ex-wife's parents, their grandparents were fantastic. I We got into some discussion that was charged a few times with regards to my ex-wife and their support of her as well. And so it was really that was the I think that was probably some of the most frustrating aspects for me was um, it's their daughter. I get it now, but back in the day, it was super hard for me to see how can you support someone that's hurting your grandchildren like they are.
Right.
But
Yeah.
they were super good to the boys, and the boys had a support structure with her parents, my parents, friends, family that made everything not necessarily smooth, but you know doable. Get through the hard time. So surround yourself with people that love you and love your kids,
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think that's
and
great advice.
things will get better.
Did you say it's time for a meetup? That's what that sounded like. That's what that sounded like. Pretty sure
Let's
that's
do
what
it.
it sounded like. Let's fucking go.
I'm in.
It's a meetup.
All
On
right.
tax day, right? Let's.
Yeah, we're definitely drinking on tax day. Absolute fucking literally, we're
I
drinking
didn't
on.
get to file my shit until after tax day, so
I'm like,
I
wait,
have an
all right.
extension already.
Yeah, April 15th is Sunday, so tax day is not until like the 16th or some shit now. So perfect.
I'm surprised the feds didn't be like, oh, I'm sorry, but if you don't have it in by the 13th, fuck you. Oh, that's
We're
weird.
gonna cut your VA compensation.
Oh, yeah, whatever your refund might be, we're gonna take for every dollar you get a refund, we're gonna make sure two comes back.
Right,
Yep,
for
to
every
us.
day that you're past the 15th,
Yeah.
we're taking
So,
$2 out of your return.
Fuck them.
oh
Uh,
man.
I guess so. I'm gonna try a different transition this time. So speaking of conjuring bad spirits and taxes, Ryan, tell us about We're gonna let you intro the paranormal this week. I think this is actually I'm interested about this week
Just
because because before we get started on it, Brian says everything's plausible because it's his fucking easy way without fucking answering the question.
yeah,
Well, isn't everything plausible? I mean, it
fucking
No,
could
cop
be.
no,
out.
copping out. Like I don't want to tell
Oh,
you that I believe in ghosts, except for the lady who sits on my chest and screams in my face when I get mad
oh
at
man, if she
Natasha.
sat on my chest, I'd be like, "Oh, don't go.
That's a
Scream more."
that's a
Baby,
clean.
come
Oh,
back.
That's a
was that supposed
steamer,
to be a?
bro.
Is that supposed to be a scary scream?
No, that's a Cleveland steamer, bro. It's just weighing you down.
It's
Yeah.
hot.
No,
It's so
I'm not
hot.
talking. I'm not talking about this anymore. We're not seeing her again. We've we've ended that relationship.
Okay, okay. So I'll let you introduce the paranormal. Though. I know you. Why don't
Spooky.
you chose the topics.
You know, so many times going through the situation of divorce and single dad stuffs, and you just want to have a woosah moment, right? And so, you know, part of me was like, oh, it'd be super cool. Remember back in the old days when you were a kid and you played with the Ouija board and you do the stiff, light as a feather, stiff as a board, and levitation would be something for me that would be super interesting and cool.
I don't think that those two things match. Like back when I was a kid, I played with the Ouija board to decompress.
Yeah,
No,
fuck.
no, no.
I was playing with like Hot Wheels in my wiener, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
like yeah, dude. I don't. I was
fuck
out.
that.
I was out just chasing ass and getting turned
Wait,
down often.
let me iterate it. It wasn't for decompression. The woosah moments was when I was adult, and I used to think back to when the Ouija board was a thing, and I wonder if levitation's really a thing.
Okay, so there's a correlation between levitation and the Ouija board, which makes them both terrifying. David
Right.
Blaine,
Hmm.
Chris Angel.
same, same.
Ooh.
That guy's
Same.
fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, it
Sam
would be.
Smith, also
Mm,
terrifying.
Wait, like the singer guy that dresses up all like
Same, same. We're just throwing out terrifying people.
that's
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
I was gonna say I don't ever want to see a fucking 275
Ru,
pound man in heels.
RuPaul? No,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
different
same, same.
terrifying. Okay, wait. No, so I
So
think
Uh yeah, fuck Ouija boards, dude.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Fuck,
all the
man.
way.
Like
A hundred
so
thousand
you've
percent.
never played with the Ouija board?
no,
Fuck no, dude.
man,
Like
no. I don't
I
even have a
leave the
fucking
fucking
welcome
game
mat.
store.
No, I don't disagree with that statement. And for the record, it wasn't something that I ever instigated. And realistically, after a few moments of this is kind of dumb or this is really weird, I can't quite decide. So I'm just OUT, and I'm like I'm done. I'm DUN. I'm out. I'm leaving because this has either gotten really weird or you're just fucking around with the board. But in all of that, the whole light as a feather, stiff as a board thing where you feel like you're kind of floating off the ground, that was always intriguing to me.
Okay, so I remember watching The Craft and seeing that, and I only watched The Craft because there was just hot chicks everywhere
So
in schoolgirl outfits.
my wife made me watch that movie. She's like, it's so good, let's watch it. And then I'm sitting there watching it with her, and I'm like, this is it. This is. She's like, yeah, it's not as good as I remember it being.
Dude, it's definitely got it's a cult it's a cult classic. It's like what is it? It's got
Night of the
um
Living Dead and blah
or
blah.
yeah, or whatever. It's like any of those, it's like the boys or what is it called? Fucking
The Lost Boys.
the Lost Boys. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like yeah, like that you think that it's so good and then you go back and you watch it and you're like,
You're like,
"Oh, this is
whoa. No,
fucking
Yeah,
terrible."
so you know me, I quote movies all the time, right? I like this
Yeah.
movie Rolodex in my head,
yeah.
so
You know,
I'm
you know
thinking,
what's sad is the like I say movie quotes constantly too.
yeah,
And like I have accidentally found my way into coaching baseball for a group of 8-year-olds, and they don't
yeah.
think that I'm fucking funny at all because they don't understand the movie quotes that I'm
You-
saying.
when you're like quoting from like Hardball with Keanu Reeves, and the little kid that's always like, they call me Big Poppy.
Yeah.
Love that movie,
Yeah.
right?
I see
Or
some
or
ladies
I mean,
tonight.
they have to have seen this. If they haven't seen The Sandlot, yeah, you got to do like. So when I was coaching, I would do. There was always two things I'd do for team meetings because spring baseball in Utah is in the snow, so most of our practices were at my house with where we'd go over, because that was my biggest thing in coaching baseball was this is a thinking man's game. So you always got to be
Yeah.
thinking, you got with every batter you have at least one play, maybe two, maybe three, right? You have your play, you have your flub play, and then whatever else. So we would go over logistics and where's your play and where's a runner, what do you do here? But my first two things was to always enlighten them with Goofy and the baseball episode of Goofy, which if you haven't watched that, that's super fucking fun,
That's funny. I would not have
right?
thought about that one.
Yeah, and
You know,
then the other aspect was that we would watch The Sandlot. And then,
okay.
so then every
That's
time, whenever somebody does something at practice and I yell out, "You're killing me, Smalls," they at least
they
get
get
that
it. Yeah.
reference. Yeah.
Yeah. These kids. Yeah.
What
But anyway, so,
what what
so
what
But back
what hold
to
on.
but back to
Real
the but back to the Lost
I,
Boys, right?
Go ahead. Yeah, but
Uh,
Lost
uh,
Boys and
s-
then I have a question right after that.
so I'm taking care of this lady in the ER a while back, a couple weeks ago, and she tells me that she's from San Dimas, California, and I'm
fuck
like,
is that?
oh, San Dimas, the murder capital of the world. And
Mm.
she looked at me and she's like, no, it's kind of white, I think.
Oh fuck.
And
She
I'm
didn't get it. She didn't get
Oh.
it.
so I'm like, no, no. I said,
You're like
have you
no
ever? Yeah,
Kiefer
I'm like,
Sutherland?
yeah.
Never
I'm like,
mind.
have you ever
It's
watched
fine.
The
Is his
Lost
knuckle
Boys?
is cracking?
Yeah. So then I have to explain the quote, and then once I did that, she's like, oh my God, I totally forgot that San Dimas was in that movie. And then it was fun after that. But
Okay. Well, when you have to explain something, it's crazy.
It's an
What's
odd
your
bonding moment.
it's just a fucking weird moment. Okay, real quick. So back over to you, Al. On the on the baseball movie quotes. Like, what are you fucking throwing down? What movies are you throwing down for these kids?
Bro, like,
And why are their
if it's
parents
yeah,
not
if it's
good
happening,
people?
it
yeah.
just, and that's the thing is like their parents think that I'm hilarious half the time because they're getting the quotes, but the kids are just like drool in the corner of their mouth and just staring at me funny. It could be anything, dude. It could be something from like Major League, Major
Oh,
League Two,
you should ever
Sandlot, freaking
100%.
anything.
I used to
Major
love
League
doing
is
that one.
Major League is like the fucking best one. Like
There's no crying in
it,
baseball.
I've said that one continuously. I had
oh
a
yeah.
guy get hit in the face yesterday by like a pop fly,
Uh,
right in the freaking schnoz. And I was like, come on, dude, there's no crying in baseball. But it's like 30 degrees outside. He just got
and
popped in the face.
then you just
It's
sound
too
like an
cold for the
insensitive
blood.
ass. Yeah.
Right. It's too cold for the blood to even come out of his freaking nose.
Dude,
Awesome.
It's
or
fantastic.
or like Major League fuck you, Jobu. I
Oh,
can hit
yeah.
the curve. Fuck you, Jobu. Right?
Fuck you, Jobu. Don't drink
Or
Jobu's rum.
don't drink Jobu's rum. Or hey, if you can hit this, then you can name it. Right? It's the pitcher, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fuck it. I call this one the Terminator. Good old number one coming right down the pipe. Come on. Okay.
His shimmy drives the girls wild.
Fucking
My
awesome.
favorite was always when they would all run for the same ground ball, and I'd have to yell and be like, "No, wait, who's on first?" And
And they never got it.
almost,
Not
yeah,
one
no,
of them.
nobody would be like, "No, no, who's on
No, no.
second?"
No.
No.
What's on second? Who's on first? Dude, so
Damn
the
kids.
fucking
Damn
kids these
kids.
days. And they're
I'd
probably gonna
miss.
go
I
play they're probably gonna
some
be the ones that play with a Ouija board and invite some weird shit in your house.
I'm about to tell
right,
these kids their
dude. If
homework
they
is to go home and play like MLB The Show or something and learn how to play baseball and then come back to
yeah.
practice the next day.
So I use that all the time, actually. I'm like, who plays baseball on their PlayStation or their Xbox? Especially my pitchers. Because one of the things I always wanted to try and iterate to the pitchers was
Location.
I don't need for you, like, you can't start pitching curveballs and sliders and stuff because it's going to ruin your arm. So all I need you to do, remember that yellow box that's in the game? That's what I need. Just hit it in the yellow box somewhere.
Um, okay. Listen,
All right, so back to Ouija boards.
I just don't really want to talk about baseball that much. It's not even
It's
that
a
exciting.
smart man's game. I don't expect you to understand
That yeah, and that's a rabbit hole.
it.
Yep, that's definitely that.
Brought
So
to you this episode by Cave Hill Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
oh, we don't want a curvy bourbon.
Num nums.
Nom 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 nom. Okay, so Ouija boards, right? So like you were there. There's obviously a story, right?
Something
You
puckered your
have
butthole.
Yeah, you said I'm fucking DUN, I'm out. So you're sitting there and it was like, are there any spirits here? And then,
Well, yeah,
everybody's touching the thing.
and then it starts to move, right? So something's moving it. I'm not buying into the. I mean, I'm younger, and it's like one of those things where is it freaky? Maybe. Is it weird? Definitely. Is it real? Who knows? But it's weird enough, freaky enough. If it is real, I'm out. If
Fuck
it's
So
not,
this.
if it's not real, then fuck you for fucking with me. I'm out. Regardless, the end result is OUT,
Fucking I'm
as
out.
in, yeah, as in Jeter almost all the time.
stop
OUT,
it.
out.
Stop it. Stop it.
You
We're
see.
fucking killing me. Jesus Christ. Okay.
He's so
So,
mad that it's going back to
oh
baseball.
my God, look, man.
Totally worth
No,
it.
you got me.
We're just
You got me
this
on
is
it.
no
It's
longer
fine.
about the supernatural. It's
It's fucking it's
baseball,
not.
baseball quotes and references. JT, see yourself out.
Ma'am. It's interesting on the Ouija board thing, right? So I only have ever been around a Ouija board once, and we started. I was like 9 or 10 or whatever at a sleepover. Maybe it was 12. I don't know. What long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And we started fucking around with it, and like we're sitting there doing this stuff, and like the candle that we have lit blows out, and people are asking fucked up questions. And then like nothing's really happening. You can totally kind of feel when people push and pull, right? You can totally
Right.
feel that. And then all of a sudden nobody's like pushing or pulling and it just like starts moving towards the it's like, are there any spirits here? It starts moving towards yes. And I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm going home too. I don't I fucking disconnected. I broke the circle before anything fucking finished. Peace, bitches. I'm out. I don't fucking want to. The thing is crazy is it's like Ouija boards for kids 8 and up.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
all of that,
and
dude.
then we wonder where like the devil inside these kids comes from, where they're so unruly and yeah.
Yeah,
Did
dude.
you
Like the
ever?
closest I've ever been to one is on the fucking shelf at Walmart or the game store. Fuck that, dude. And like if that's even like touching a game that I want to buy, I'm like, nah,
I
I ain't
don't
buying it. Fuck that.
I don't need it.
I'm just gonna get this deck of cards over here at the front desk and fucking I'm out.
Right.
Dude, have you ever so you said you did the light as a feather thing. So I did that as well as a kid, and it was always like this thing where you tried to convince yourself. It was like more of a hypnosis thing, right? And that's what I always equated it to, right? So you're sitting there and people are lifting you with their fingers or whatever.
Mm.
And maybe you get lifted and maybe you don't. Maybe you levitate, maybe you don't. Maybe you fucking turn into a
I
fucking
dude,
magnet.
I
I thought
think
you said
that
a
And
Met. I was like, oh, you are a Mets fan, huh? Look at
the
you.
I think that the levitation thing is real, but I don't think it's like this whole like kids game, light as a feather, stiff as a board, or whatever the fuck. I think it is a real thing, and I think that it is kind of like one of those, you know, mind powers, like one of those higher levels of consciousness that can allow it to happen.
Mm.
Because you hear about, well, you hear about and read stories about the monks that can do it, and that it's forbidden for them to show people and stuff like that. But there's a handful of people or whatever that have seen them do it,
yeah.
and so I think it's a real thing. But and like I know we've talked about like what is it, the pineal gland and stuff like that. That's supposed to be right here in your forehead. It's like your third eye,
Mm.
and it basically like if you go in there and you look at a brain scan and stuff like that, it has everything right there that your eyeball would have. It just doesn't have the eyeball.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of science and stuff and and things that go into people saying that like fluoride and stuff that's put in the water and stuff that's put in your food calcifies that pineal gland, and with that calcified, it shuts down some of your actual mental and like metaphysical
Yeah,
um,
I was.
you know uh, gifts or properties.
Yeah,
So
it just
you
desensitizes you. And I was actually just listening to something on fluoride in the water, and having it be something, that the government's doing to keep us down, and to keep free thinking down. And because if you could equate that to a chemical lobotomy almost, right? If that's truly
yeah
what it does. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah and
it's kind
people
of
are
wild.
saying there's these ways that you can go about decalcifying that pineal gland, and people that have worked and done the work to decalcify it and eat the right way and do everything, they can do this like telekinesis type thing. Like they can, take
That's
the
what I'm
the
talking
string
about.
and it's
Yep.
spinning like this, and then they just think about it and it starts moving in another way, or it's hanging from like the ceiling and they're like motivating it to go in a circle or motivating it to go side to side or fucking levitating. So like
Yes.
I think it's a real
See,
thing.
I think it can be a real thing too, and I
I
think that
I
some of it
agree.
for me is, I guess I kind of, in the computer world, we have wireless technologies and Bluetooth and whatnot, right? And so I'm thinking, as you're talking about telekinesis and whatnot, why isn't that a thing? Can't it be a thing? Because if we can, if computers can communicate through airwaves type technologies and whatnot, why can't brainwaves do similar kinds of things?
Interesting comment on that, real quick. So there was a gal with that thought process, and she's probably going to be dead in the next week because Big Pharma's going to kill her. But whatever. Um, she came up with a path to basically utilize kind of like radio pathways, whether it's like Bluetooth or whatever it is, to attack specific cell genomes in
Hmm.
cancer to
Oh yeah,
eradicate cancer.
it was a vibrational laser is what it was.
Okay. Yeah, so she figured it out, right? And so it went through initial clinical trials with mice, and it cured 100% of the mice from cancer.
Awesome.
It's
Nice.
now in primate mode. We all know what that means. It's going to get to a point
Game
where
over.
she's dead and we don't get to know anything else because all of a sudden it's going to be gone, right? So whatever. So there's that. And we'll have to talk to her through a Ouija board, but I ain't fucking doing it.
Yeah,
No,
those
that's
guys.
just not. Nope, that's a Ryan thing.
Oh.
Yep. 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 No.
No.
Yeah. No I can't. I haven't really ever had any desire whatsoever to kind of do the seance thing either.
Yeah,
No,
or
fuck no.
opening a portal. Like I was once scared to do the what is it where you look in the mirror and you
Oh,
say
the Bloody Mary
Oh,
the
thing.
Bloody
the
Mary?
Candyman thing. Oh,
Oh, the Bloody Mary, and where you look in the mirror and you blow out a candle and
I
whatever
think
it
it's
is. You
like
say
something
it's
different for like every group of kids.
yeah,
It's just made
whatever.
up. Yeah, it's because it was
You know,
totally different. Yeah.
yeah, whatever. And then you look over your shoulder through a mirror to a mirror with a candle that you blew out. Like the real way, I think, is actually you
See,
have to look
and I
through a
think
mirror to a mirror because it's a portal, right?
I
And
think mirrors are fucking weird and creepy
yeah.
sometimes
uh,
too. Like
Come on.
always,
have you
My
seen
grandma's
that
house
where
had
it's like
two mirrors across from one another, and we used to always
fuck
pretend like we were
that?
riding bicycles, and you can see it like a million times.
What's that?
We
Have you
never
ever
did
tried to
any.
like stare at yourself in the mirror for like longer than a couple
t-
minutes and shit starts to get fucking weird?
No, because
yeah.
every time I do, I'm like, oh man, I just had an orgasm. That dude is amazing looking.
Oh, it's quick then.
Yeah. Well, shit, dude. I'm only half Korean, so
Well, when the
can only
when
tolerate so much.
when the girls decided that they wanted to do the whole fucking spirit box thing in my house, and they were talking to fucking the little girl ghost that's here and all that shit. Um, they like if you read on what you've got to do to cleanse your home from negative energies just to make sure some shit's there, you actually have to wipe down all of your mirrors and make sure they're clean so that the energy can leave and go through the I was like,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm like, once that shit's
Interesting.
gone, I will always have a smudge in a mirror. fuck that. You can't come through if you can't.
You ain't going
Fuck
back.
you. You ain't coming back. I'm like, I'll
Well,
smudge
fuck,
the
that makes
corner.
me feel better. If that's all it takes, I'm like, I got
Fuck,
dogs.
man.
Same thing with glass, then I hope, because my dog's noses are all over all the glass
Well,
everywhere.
they can't come in as long as you don't have a welcome mat. That's basic witchcraft 101. Like,
Hmm.
Fuck, now I know.
So no soliciting doesn't quite work. You can't have a welcome mat either.
no. If you have a welcome mat and you put it out and saying it's you stating or part of your home stating that things are welcome as
Oh,
long as
we totally got my mom with that too, by the way, because
yeah.
she was like getting ready to listen to that episode, and she's like, I was getting ready to like cut out with the vinyl cutter, like welcome, and put it on my door. She's like, but not now. She's like, I don't know what to put. I was like, I don't know, not welcome.
No, welcome.
Dude,
No soliciting. Like, I don't know.
yeah. So the no soliciting thing only works for because it's
I
on
was gonna
the
say that doesn't
window.
it doesn't
It,
fucking work at all.
yeah.
A
Um.
shotgun. A shotgun works one time, and I swear to God, they tell everybody.
That's
Oh no,
fair too.
answering the door in your underwear generally works too.
That'll do it too. Yeah, I haven't had a missionary at my house in
Oh
years.
dude, yeah, I used to get
They don't make
the
it up this
fast
far.
yeah the fast offering kids used to like ding dong the doorbell, and I had worked one night and they would ding dong the doorbell, no answer, and then they would ding dong the doorbell again, and then knock, and then on the fourth ding donging of the doorbell, I answered the door in my underwear, and I'm like, what? And they're like, uh, oh, we're sorry. And I'm like, no, 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 you don't get to leave. What do you want?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Fuck, you got me. You got
I'm
me.
like, I'm sorry. You got me out of bed. I don't care if I'm in my underwear or not. Give me your spiel. What is it that
You're
you wanted?
fucking
What is it?
teaching me some
What is it
shit
What
that
are
was
you
now.
so
selling?
fucking? What
What
in the
are
fuck is so important? And they're like,
yeah.
oh, nothing, nothing. We're sorry to have interrupted you. I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay. So it turns out that the next week at baseball, one of the guys from the wards at my baseball league, he comes up and he's like, yeah, so I made sure that we got your name off of the fast offering list. I'm like, oh, good, okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't
so
even know.
so answering the door in your underwear also works.
I don't even know what
Used to
that
work.
is.
I don't think that you can actually do that now. I'm pretty sure that now you do that.
That was
Well, I
yesterday,
mean,
dude.
oh
No,
man.
I'm kidding.
Fair enough. Fucking
That was like
awesome.
Tuesday and shit, man.
Uh, Alex, what is your weird thing that you've done that falls in line with Ouija boards and light as a feather?
Fucking nothing, dude. Not a
Nothing.
fucking thing. Fuck all of that.
No.
Definitely
I
nothing
was
in my
I was
adulthood
I
yet.
was taught at a fucking young age shit not to fuck with. And
Hmm.
cops, Ouija boards, you know.
Spirits.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
No. Yeah, there was fuck all that. No. I wasn't doing this light as a feather, stiff as a board shit.
It'd be really cool if some people could pick you up with their fingers.
No, dude.
So it back to the
Really fucking
levitation
cool.
thing. That's one of my things. I haven't ever really been able to get into meditation. I have a bunch of friends that do yoga meditation stuff, and that's the closest thing that I think I can relate to the whole light as a feather thing, right? Would be meditation and making yourself lighter and the troubles are heavier, and so they're able to leave, right? But I had a couple conversations with a couple different people with regards to out of body experiences, and saying that they've had a hard time getting back into their body because they had to basically fight to get back into their body from evil spirits that wanted to get into their body because they left it. So I'm like, interesting. I don't think
So
I ever want to levitate and
hold
be
on.
That's
out of my
that
body.
fucking movie. That's that Insidious, like the first one was like that
Don't
he
know.
like the
I
I
kid
don't
literally
was
I
don't.
don't
a
Yeah,
I don't watch those movies, dude. Like
me either.
I
Me
I
either.
I'm
don't fucking
fucking
either
I'm
after that one,
This
man.
is this
That
is
one
dating
fucking
me
got
because
me.
yep, I haven't watched. I literally haven't watched a movie of that nature since. I think the last three that I can think of are in the date range of uh, The Ring, Blair Witch Project, and Paranormal Activity.
same Same. I hit the ring and I was like,
after all of those things, I'm like, DUN. So and then so when we were up at Current Creek, right, and we come into those cabins and whatnot, and I'm like, these cabins are really cool, but oh my God, this has a Blair Witch kind of. I was expecting to walk in and have. I'm getting chills right now. Even I'm like, I was expecting to walk in and have like some little kid standing in the corner with his
Yeah.
fucking.
fuck
Yeah,
you,
no.
man. It's dark
Fuck
outside.
all
Why
of
are you
that.
talking about? No, fuck that, dude. No, no.
JT
I'm
lives
like,
in a
no.
big cabin. He's a big bag mountain
Yeah,
man.
no, dude, we walked up. I was like, dude, let's go check. And he's like, they're fucking probably really cool inside. I did really one
Yeah,
thing
are
for
they the
me is
same fucking
history.
cabins
Yeah,
that we drove by?
Yeah,
yeah,
dude. He was like,
Fuck
let's go look
yeah.
at
you,
him.
dude. You are
I said,
retarded.
I said, fuck off. He's like, let's go
You
look
are
at
the
it. They're probably
fucking
really. He's like, let's go look inside. I'm like, yeah, if you want to get fucking murdered by the Blair
yeah.
Witch,
You're the dumb
fuck
bitch running
off.
up the stairs when the fucking killer's down on the ground instead of running out the front door.
Yeah,
You're like, let's see how long we can make it last.
yeah, no, fuck, man. He was like, let's go look at it. I'm like, no, you're fucking dumb. And this is like right before the Squatch experience.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-mm.
Fuck off. No, I was like, no, man, this place is
You
creepy
know,
as
I
fuck.
still now that I guess I brought it up, but now that you brought up the Squatch experience again, that's just so intriguing that it reminds me of the missing 411s, right? With the granite where you're alone, like all of those individuals were like alone at some point, right, when they disappeared.
Yeah,
Asshole.
So,
That's why we're like,
but
fuck Ryan's dead.
don't call me asshole, motherfucker. You're the one that walked off and decided to be all elky and horny and
oh, that was no, that
yeah.
was Al. That was Al. Me, definitely. I did that too. No.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No,
When
that
did
was
I
Al.
fucking
I
walk
was
off?
gonna,
When the
yeah, I
fuck
was
did
gonna
I go
say.
You
anywhere?
think he walks?
Fuck
Come on, get the
you.
fuck out of here. He drives.
Fuck you. Nah, because I run out of gas, bro. So I fucking had to walk.
You don't fucking
We're,
walk.
I'm like, we see. So for those listening, we see his general parked, and we're like, oh, what the fuck are they doing parked right there? So we go over, and it's fucking empty, and we're like, oh, why is it empty? And then all of a sudden, we roll into him into the road. Like, what the fuck are you doing over here? Why aren't you in your side by side? It's out of gas. What?
I'm like, I didn't know where the fuck you were going, dude. I didn't think I was gonna make it, so I turned around at the halfway point between fucking full or between empty and empty.
Still ran out of gas.
Yeah, it's fucking
Oh my
retarded.
god. But back to
Um,
the Squatch thing, and I always found it intriguing that neither one of us could hear the other, but we were less than 300 or 400 yards away from each other.
yeah, and
And
it
then
was
and then you have this experience that, if you were to have happenstanced on it with two people, it's just meh. It's a bunch of sticks in the ground, right?
well, except for the
But if you
boulder
happen,
part.
yeah, you happenstance on it by yourself, and then it's like, wow, this is a thing.
Well, so I was fine until the tree knocks and the rocks getting thrown at me.
And
So
so,
whatever. Like what?
and then, like, the woods themselves, like, you're out there, the isolation of it is definitely kind of spooky because we're not, like, we hunt and fish and stuff like that, but, like, sometimes the isolation of it, because we're not out there all the time, is like, oh, fuck. Like, there's really nobody out here. And it's not that you don't know how to get back to, like, camp, or, like, if shit went south that you couldn't get to, like, a road and get to help or
Yeah.
something. It's just like, oh, fuck. I'm all by myself now. And I can't find my battle buddy. And there's fucking rocks being thrown at my head. And there's fucking wood getting slammed in the side of another fucking,
Yeah, well, that was the
like,
part that was really weird, right? So this is the after we had the incident where Ryan decided that he didn't want fucking technology to be his friend. So
and the
we made sure.
subway,
Yeah, the
subway
subway.
happened.
Yeah. So Ryan and I, like the night before, right? We made sure everything was charged. And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna walk down this side of the ravine on this hill. Totally cool." And I'm like, "Cool. I'm gonna walk on this side of the ravine, and I will make my way down. Not a big deal." And there's a stream running in between. It's not like a big ass ravine either. You could like, it was just kind of a mellow slope. It wasn't crazy. And those walkie talkies are good for like fucking 2 miles. Not a
Fuck
big
that.
deal.
They're good. They're better for they're like 10 miles, dude.
That's
They were
line of sight. Yeah.
well,
No,
no, I mean it wasn't even like line of sight because it was
no, but it should have definitely been something where we're less than 500 yards apart from one another. They should
Like
be
we should have
functional.
been able
Yeah.
to take the
Yeah.
walkie-talkies out of my
Yeah.
kid's room, and fucking
and
they should have
fuck
been able
yeah.
to work. You know,
So
Next
I'm
time we'll
sitting
just have a fucking baby monitor phone.
right? For
we
real.
for real. So Ryan and I are sitting there doing radio checks. We're walking, and then all of a sudden, radio check doesn't happen. Whatever. This whole experience happens, right? And Brian's like, I don't know what happened on his end, his side of the story, but I fucking got tired. I sat down and I fucking passed out for a couple hours
Well,
apparently.
I go back to the place where we started, right? So if like logic teaches you if you're, if wilderness survivor says get to back to where you started from, that's where people are going to look for you, right? So I figure if I can't hear him, he probably can't hear me, so I'm going to go back to where we started and where we both knew each other was. And I'm sitting at the side by side. I take all my shit off because I'm sweating like a banshee, and about what 2.5 hours later he rolls up and I'm laying on my back with my head on my ruck and taking a nap. He's like, the fuck, man, I've been calling you for like 2 hours. I'm like, well, what the fuck, man, I called you for like 2 hours. I went took a nap finally.
It was a really weird experience, dude. That was a fucking trip. It I don't even know, man. It was like very supernatural from my perspective.
And the
You,
interesting aspect is there's so many people that find the serenity in being alone in the woods and walking and finding the peace, which I did when I was
right?
watching when I'm watching the Mises book and my batteries are dead. I'm like, I'm not overly concerned because, there's still some daylight, and regardless of how dark you guys thought it was with your shades on, it was not too bad.
Oh, it's fucking dark.
It was
It's dark
fucking
as
dark
Oh
shit.
as
my
shit,
The
god.
bro.
fucking stars were out.
Apparently I just have a glow about me that
Maybe that's it.
illuminates the
Maybe that's
See,
darkness. Yeah.
absolutely
it's people like you that go walking through the woods by themselves with their serenity and their bullshit, and have no fucking idea it's the woods are just trying to kill you. They're
well
trying to get
Right.
you
here
And
alone
they,
so
they
they
look
can
at
kill
me.
you.
No, they just look at me like the fucktard I am and be like, who's this guy? Does he
What the
not know where he
fuck is this?
is?
Does he not know who the
Man,
fuck we are?
he
here's the
obviously
thing.
he's gonna taste bad. Let's just
This
leave him
yeah, this
alone.
fucking guy, leave him alone.
So here's the thing. I find serenity in the woods by myself. I actually really enjoy being in the woods by myself. It's not a big deal. That was the first experience in my entire life that I ever got creeped out in the woods. Like ever. It was like a culmination of things, right?
And it's not like
We
you have any place to run to, right?
yeah, like I mean really,
Yeah.
like if you're in the
Just kind of like
woods,
you're
Yeah,
there.
well,
especially when your
Yeah.
battle buddy isn't answering the fucking radio.
facts. Well, I mean, and that kind of goes back to like, well, was there some sort of interference that was happening? Like, was Doc as much of a drain on his batteries as he is on my fucking brain power sometimes, right? Like, or as I am on him, like whatever, totally fine. And then you get home and you later, 2-3 years later, you watch fucking Politis and you talk to the missing 411 shit, and all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck? Oh, this is a real thing, and you start adding one plus one is actually two, for real, for real.
Yeah,
You know,
I am definitely, and maybe it was because of the Marine Corps, maybe not, but ever since like my fucking Squatch encounter of fucking 2009 or 2010 or whatever the fuck, like I'm not huge on not having a battle buddy when we're fucking hunting
that makes
because
sense.
there's just so much that can go fucking wrong, and like especially where we go hunting too a lot is up in the Uintas, and the weather changes just fucking
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah,
So I am definitely not. I'm not super jazzed on splitting up. If it's a couple groups of like two, yeah, fucking split up. Everybody has a battle buddy. But I'm not real big on splitting up because
Yeah. Same.
all the politest shit, all the shit that fucking has happened to me, happened to you in the woods, and I'm just like, I'm not fucking going out like that, man. It's not gonna be me. You're gonna hear fucking 12 shots of 45, and you better fucking find me, bro. You better fucking find me.
I'm gonna leave it. I
I'm,
will leave a trail of blood. You
I'm
find it.
slinging every fucking arrow I have, and I'm shooting at everything. Like,
I totally get it, man. I am on that note, but dude, there's a part of me that still just wants to, like, I don't know, man. I just kind of want to walk in the woods for a little bit by myself. It's weird, right? So it's like, do I want to have a fucking revenant moment where I'm attacked by a fucking Bigfoot or a bear or something, and that's how I go? Maybe, maybe that's Valhalla for me. I'm not really quite sure.
Yeah.
I'm going out like a fucking warrior, but at the same time too, like I don't actually. After going through combat and shit, I'm like,
that's a fucked up
I'm
way to act.
fucking
Yeah. I don't want to
cool
get
nut.
dry humped up and down the fucking riverbank by a goddamn bear or a Sasquatch. Like,
Dog
I'm not
dick.
getting fucked with a dog dick.
Dog
That's
dick.
not
You
how I'm
get
going
fucked with a
out, dude.
dog dick all the time.
I
Jack's
am not
fucking
going out.
I was
he
gonna
fucks
say
your
if that's
leg
what
No,
with
it.
dude,
dog
that's
dick
just
all the
Ryan,
time.
dude. He knows better. Okay, I'm the fucking alpha. All right,
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
fucking bit his ear. Okay,
Oh yeah, I bet you
that's
did.
why he's
Oh,
laying right there.
Is
He
that what it's
knows.
gonna take?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
you
bite
gotta
his ear.
you gotta bite him, bro.
Yeah, no, I see it as a sign of love and respect. He loves
Oh, he
me.
definitely loves you.
yeah, dog
Yeah,
dick. Dog dick.
but yeah, dude, I'm not going out like that. And I swear to God, if I'm in the Uintas and one of fucking Politis's portals open up, dude, I'm running. I'm out. I'm out like a fat kid in
Is it
dodgeball,
I
uh
don't know.
a
I
good
think I
description?
yeah.
man.
I might just be like one of those like, oh, well that looks like an interesting hole. Let's check
That's the
that
fucking
out.
problem with you right there. Is you're gonna go into the portal. It's gonna be like an ice cream truck, and you're gonna be fucking going
I'm gonna
after it.
be like, have you guys watched Outer Range
Outer
with
range.
yeah,
Oh.
it's the dude wears a cowboy hat. I'm surprised you haven't fucking watched it. What the fuck?
Are you sure
What
you're
the
saying the
fuck
name
is
right?
that?
Is it the right
Yeah.
name?
I'm almost certain. It's got oh man, I'm blanking on his name right now. The dude from No Country for Old Men. Not Tommy Lee Jones, the other guy. Uh wow. I can't
Like
believe I'm having brain
the dude,
fart.
the Spanish dude?
There's
No.
a there's a
Um
an interwebs for this. Hold on, I'll tell you who
Okay.
it is.
there is
No,
it's
I'm already on it. You keep trying. I'll figure it out before you.
You can do this.
you probably
You
will.
got
It's
it.
not.
You got it.
Oh, Brolin. Josh Brolin.
Josh
Josh
Brolin, yeah.
Brolin.
Josh
So
Brolin.
it's got Josh Brolin in it, but it basically he has property in Wyoming, right? And apparently there's this like vortex wormhole thingamajig that's on his property. And he's super enamored and intrigued by it. And it basically like essentially like ruins his life for the most part. But um
I have
that would be
not.
me.
I have not
It,
seen that.
yeah, it's intriguing. It's got some interesting peeps in it. But the premise of it's actually interesting. But that would be me. I'd be like, ooh, that's intriguing.
That shit's shiny. Yeah, fuck that. Politis has ruined me to like wanting to be in the fucking woods by myself.
So see,
Uh,
that's the yin and yang confusion for me, right? I'm like, I don't want to play with spirits. That shit's just freaky to me, and I think it's because most of the ghost stories that you can recall, right, just have an air to them of just not happiness, right? Just downright evil slash dark slash
mhm.
angry.
Yeah.
But the wormhole thing for me um is intriguing.
Part of
The
me too.
only
It has an air of intrigue and mystery and the unknown and beyond. So I think that's kind of that yin and yang, kind of weird.
Dude, the only way I'm going down a wormhole is if like Captain Picard is sitting by my side and he can
Fucking
tell me how to get out of it.
And
so.
Okay,
Oh,
you've got a
that's
fuck
it.
photon, you got a
off.
fucking photon that can help
Dude,
protect
you're
you.
Dude, I
both
better
are
have a full
fucking.
complement of
I
photon
can't do this. I
torpedoes
can't.
and like warp. You
Fucking
know.
baseball nerds and Star Trek nerds showing up in fucking groves here.
Dude,
Listen, here's the thing.
I grew up listening to Star Wars on a fucking 8-track on a tall ass fucking 8-track player
Eight
stereo
track
thingamajiggy
flashback.
in my parents' basement. So I've watched more Star Wars than I have Star Trek,
Good on you. Way to be a good
but
fucking American. Jesus
but
Christ. Okay.
but like a good bisexual, I am into both. I can see both as plausible.
I fucking hate you
I'm
so
telling you, dude,
bad.
like uh Star Trek ship just crashed on a planet in a galaxy far away, and then
Right.
No.
Star Wars was born.
No,
man,
I
It
was
was just
actually
a,
just
it was just a
I was
Star
actually
Trek
just
colony, dude.
No.
I was actually just reading an article on the science behind Star Trek, and that the writers and the techies, right, basically got so much of the science behind Star Trek right that
Hmm.
that's why there's so many science people that are super into Star Trek, whereas Star Wars is just, it's fantasy slash fun versus, Star Trek is intriguing, and it's the exploration of the unknown and what's out there and what could be out there, what you may encounter, whereas Star Wars just weird.
Yeah,
I
and I
I,
mean,
I yeah.
Star Trek would be the Thinking Man's show.
The baseball
The
of fucking
baseball of space.
sci-fi, yeah.
That's why JT doesn't like it. It's the Thinking Man's. It's the Thinking Man's
There's literally
He's
no.
sci-fi.
he's
There's
just
literally
you know
fucking no
what?
plot to it, man. I just can't.
You're just upset that we figured out how to play with our wooden balls a lot sooner in life than you did, and we perfected it faster than you did. You're just
Here's the thing.
upset.
No, here's the thing. I actually like baseball. I really do a lot. Okay. I don't like Star Trek. It's fucking stupid. Oh look, the people in the red shirt are gonna die. Great storyline.
For the
Fucking
for the
woo.
for the record, there are a lot better costumes on women in Star Trek than there are in
Oh,
Star Wars.
dude, totally.
I mean, if
No.
your thing
What?
is Ewoks, by all means,
Yeah.
be a Star Wars fan. But
Are
if your
you
thing is hot chicks in
slaves?
tights,
No.
then
Slave Leia, bro. Fucking wins
What,
hands
dude?
down. Every time.
one chick for an entire galaxy. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Well,
No
it's
wonder nobody fucking wants to live there, and they're always fighting.
They want to.
this
No wonder
other.
Darth Vader.
No.
He's like,
Hold on.
I'm gonna
Palpatine or
annihilate.
no.
Yeah,
No.
no.
Princess Amidala, bro. Fucking yeah, dude. Natalie Portman. You guys are
Okay,
fucking wrong. No.
now we're not
Now we've
talking.
got
Now we're not
two.
talking.
We got
But now
two.
we're not even talking Star Wars. Now we're just talking the bastard. Now we're just talking
Yeah.
the remnants. We're
No.
talking about the bastard children.
No, hold on.
But I do think. I mean, Natalie Portman's hot, and she did make that movie. I'm not
I
gonna
could
lie.
say to you, like, I can watch the original Star Treks, but you start talking about Next Generation, which Alex loves,
Mm.
and you just get fucking snarky Picard fucking doing his thing. No, man, I'm fucking out.
Whoa, you leave Patrick Stewart out of
I
your
said
mouth.
snarky Picard on purpose because
If
he's like
he
number
that
one.
is
I'm gonna go take a number two. Watch
I
the
always found
deck.
it interesting that after
that's
one of
Sir
those
Patrick Stewart
explosions
to
in
you.
Star Trek Next Generation, then all of a sudden the X-Men come out and he's in a wheelchair from his injuries
I'm
for
telling
Star
you,
Trek
dude.
Next
It's
Generation.
generational. There's a lot of hot females that were in Star
Yeah.
Trek,
Oh
and
yeah.
way skimpy costumes,
Yeah.
especially on like the alien planets and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think we need to have a whole episode dedicated to Star Wars versus Star Trek.
That sounds dangerous.
Sounds like JT's gonna get upset and bring Princess Leia
He,
into this again.
Now, like, here's the thing: like Carrie Fisher, she had a good run of Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope.
She was hot for like 2 movies.
And then no.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Then she just got old.
Yeah, Counselor Troy
And
was
she didn't
hot
get
for like 10
yeah,
seasons
10 seat, right? Yeah. Yeah, and she
of like
and
I
40
just
episodes.
the
and
whole thing, the
Carrie
whole
Fisher didn't get like hot old, not like Demi Moore hot old. She just got
Yeah,
old.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I got nothing right now because I'm trying
Wow.
to focus.
So see,
I'm
he could be a Yankees fan.
Yeah,
no.
right.
I'm a Giants fan.
Gross.
I'm a Giants fan. Have been since my very first baseball team. That was a San Francisco Giants fan. I did have a
Same.
hiatus. I did have a hiatus when the Giants traded for Barry Bonds from the Pirates.
Mm.
Barry Bonds started playing for the Giants, and I realized he's a giant d bag. And then I became a Braves and Mariners fan because I was kind of like, whatever, dude. At this point, the team that I support the most is kind of fucked. So I sure do love some freaking Tom Glavine. That's pretty nice.
You
That's
know, the
fucking
whole
cool.
yeah,
Fred
the whole free
McGriff.
agent thing the free agency thing is what basically made me like different teams, I suppose. But
Yeah, and then
it
I
was like
loved I loved the
it's like
I love
fantasy football, right? I didn't really like all the teams until I really started playing fantasy football, and you have members of all these individual teams on your team, which made me pay a lot more attention to foosball. And but as far as baseball goes, I love baseball. I played baseball most of my life and coached baseball for a lot of it, and I love it.
Yeah,
But that
I
said, I love watching it, but I don't love the players of it. I don't love the game of the side of the game of the money and paying somebody $41 million a year, or a $43 million contract over 10 years. That's because I'm an
well, I
Angels fan.
just
I grew up as a Giants fan, then I was an Angels fan, and then I stopped being an Angels fan. I still love the Angels because the bees feed the Angels, but I, I kind of just stopped being a baseball fan altogether with the strike and then the baby contracts and the crybaby. Same with the NBA, but when you're crying over the fact that, and don't get me wrong, capitalism is a thing, but when you're getting paid $10.6 million a year to catch a ball and have a baseball batting average of close to 400, and that's what generates you making a $43 million contract over 10 years, man, that's super hard to swallow.
yeah,
and you
I've
and
oh
you see people in your life that are going to war and are serving their country and coming home wounded and having PTSD and battling their life for actual service in lieu of others, and watching people save lives in emergency rooms, and paramedics that are doing their thing, and firefighters that are doing their thing, and police officers that are getting killed in the line of duty for doing their thing. And do you think those guys get $10 million contracts a year for catching a bullet?
no,
No.
they get mad hate. That's what they get.
Right.
well,
That's,
there's a whole lot to that though. There's a whole
Not to bring
undertow
not
to
to
that.
bring not to bring a huge
Ah,
downer to
I
the
was gonna
oh
say
no,
you just unpacked a lot right there.
man, we could save that for your Ryan rant the next time we get
That
out
was
there.
it.
But
That was
like
a
that
mini
was
rant.
a mini. That was a
and
low key kind
that
of
wasn't
mellow
even
rant.
trying, I guess. That was just a whiskey
It's
thought.
It was whiskey
yeah,
thoughts.
it's fair enough. Well, gentlemen, I have to be honest with you guys. It's been real and it's been real good. And it's time to wrap things up.
Aw.
So,
Oh, do we gotta go
Oh.
but
home now?
we gotta go. I mean, we don't have to
He
go
does
Oh,
this he
home,
does this when I'm
but
in Montana too. He's like, "Oh, Doc, you got to go to bed, yo."
man. Oh, the fire's dying. It's getting real. Sun's getting real low, big guy.
I need my friends David and Stan to put more fucking wood on the fire.
oh, Jesus
They're
Christ.
they're notorious for pulling up bundles of fucking wood and drop. Especially David, he pulls up bundles of wood with two hands and throws it on the fire. Watches till the plastic melts, and he's like, "All right, I guess I'm gonna go shower. Good night, guys."
That's a
That
great
is
move.
absolutely fucking something
That's
you've done before.
that's JT right now. I'm
Uh,
gonna put.
well, it's a thing,
Yeah.
right? But you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Mm.
It's fine. It's closing time, bitches. I would like to just say this has been an invigorating thought tonight. It's actually a little bit different than our normal podcast. We kind of touched on some paranormal shit, which turned into fucking baseball and Star Trek.
Eh,
Fucking idiots.
fuck it. It was fun anyway,
It
though.
was
Yeah, if
fun.
I
It's a
I
good
mean, it
time.
doesn't always have to be paranormal. It can be
yeah,
para-fun.
there you go. If I haven't said thanks for having me, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh no, of
So,
course. You're a regular star. You're just gonna be the guy who just shows up every 3 weeks.
I'm
yeah, thank you for
regularly
letting
a
us have
regular.
you,
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, yeah.
now now you're getting me excited.
ma'am.
Ma'am. Madam.
My
Uh with that being said, I'd like to just do a real quick huge shout out to the Bearded Viking Mead Company and the thanks for all the shit that they let us do for this podcast and helping other people out. Uh as always, thanks to Rogue Industries for all of the apparel that they put together. Please reach out to Justine because if you reach out to Alex, he won't realize you're actually asking for help.
No, I
So
won't.
speaking of apparel and Rogue Industries, I have had a semi this whole entire time because of that tank. I just want to say thank you for looking so amazing in
You
that
know,
tank.
it was my
I
thirst
wish
trap.
I could look that amazing in that tank, but when I put that tank on, I feel like Joe Dirt's fucking dirty uncle.
Because you are Joe Dirty Uncle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you guys were related.
Yeah, fuck, man. Huge thanks and shout out to Boss Graphic Design for everything that you do. For us, if you guys are in need of a logo or any kind of artwork for your organization, reach out to Rudy and his team, and they will draw you cool pictures. And if you're thicker than a Snicker, just type in the keyword snack in your
Coats,
email,
my goats.
and he will give you a discount depending on how thick you are.
Discount code snack.
THICC.
Yep. And finally, thank you to all the veteran organizations that we work with because it's really important. We appreciate all the things you do. Racing for Tomorrow, putting veteran seats in race cars so they can cross the finish line of life.
Maybe veterans butts and seats.
Yeah.
Veteran seats and
something
seats.
like that.
Whatever.
Butts and seats.
Seats and seats.
All right, whatever.
Veterans asses in the fucking steering wheel of the world. I don't know what the fuck you want.
Fucking
You do
A.
it. You fucking do it next
Here's
time.
to veterans and their asses.
Yeah,
Facts.
veterans in their asses in race cars.
Speaking of veterans and their asses, also buy some silkies. Come to a fucking silky hike with the Irreverent Warriors and us.
Cha-ching.
Look at all of the asses. Some of us don't have great ones, and others do.
Bubble butt. Bubble.
But we all
bustle.
have beacons of liberty.
I may not have the biggest beacon, but I sure got a nice butt.
You got plenty of liberty.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, I am Viko, the bearded one. Call me JP.
And I'm the Jarl. Stay weird, beardos.
And Doc says, cheers, motherfuckers.
No.
Suck it, JT.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
Peace.
You better come up with your own fucking sign off.
Catchphrase.